Hey, my friends. Welcome to Silva Podcast. Welcome to one more episode. I'm Fred Silva, and this is a podcast made by an English learner to other English learners to help you to speak English with confidence. And today we have a special guest from Mexico. But first, to talk about her, I want to ask you to subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up if you didn't yet. So help us to grow this channel and help more people all over the world to speak a better English and to speak English with confidence. So as I said, today I will talk to Paola. Paola is a student from Mexico. She's my friend and she speaks very well, and you will learn a little bit about her English learning journey and how this can help you to improve your English too. So we can learn a lot of things from her English learning journey, and I hope you enjoy it, okay? Hey Paola, how are you?
Hi, Fred. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. First of all, it's a great pleasure for me to receive you today. And I'm so happy that you accept my invitation. And for those that don't know you, please introduce yourself. Say who you are, where you're from, what do you do.
All right. So, first of all, it's a pleasure to me to be invited to your podcast. I mean, it's amazing that you are having an English podcast as an English learner. It's really good. So, thank you for inviting me. And okay, for those that don't know me, my name is Paola. I'm from Mexico. I'm 28 years old. I work as a physician in my country. I graduated in 2020. So right before the pandemic started, I ended my career. And currently, I'm working in the field of laboral medicine, like work medicine. I don't work in a hospital. I work to different um, type of enterprises. Yes, like fabrics on manufacturing buildings and give attention to the workers there. So I live in a city called Tijuana. I have two younger sisters and I live with my mom. I have no pets.
Really? I have one pet, a new one. I didn't have before. Now I have a really big dog. So
I have a really small patio, so I think it's very sad for a dog to live there. But I really like the neighbor's dog, so I usually go there and say hi and play a little bit with her.
Oh, good. You said that you are from Mexico, and I don't know if you noticed, but behind me, I put like the
Oh
Mexican flag, you know,
yeah, yes.
the colors of Mexican flag, because
Oh,
I really love your country. I never been there before, but I have a lot of friends from Mexico, and people there are amazing. They are very friendly. They are good people. Brazilians and Mexicans are very similar in personality and everything. So
mm.
I love your country. One day I hope I can visit it. Visit. So Paula, please first of all tell us about your English learning journey. Why did you start to study English, and when this happened?
All right. So I think because the proximity of Mexico with the US, it's really common here to encourage kids in school to learn English because it's really important. We use it a lot because I think one reason may be that we have a lot of US tourism here in Mexico. A lot of Americans come here for vacations. So in a lot of places that lives by the tourism, they need to at least have the basic knowledge of a conversational English. So also we have a lot of companies that come here to produce their products and then take them to the United States. So, and for example, in the city that I live, it's right below San Diego. So I can go in 5 minutes, I will be in the border and I can
Really?
cross in the United States in less than 10 minutes. Well, not considering the line because it's really long. But if
I
the line
know.
of cars didn't exist, I can cross like really, really fast. So that's another reason why, uh, since I was a little kid, my parents told me that you need to learn to speak English because you will need it in your life. Like it's not an option, you need to learn it. So since I was in kindergarten, I think I have like English classes, but it was until I reached the university when I realized that my English was already stuck in a level that I needed more. Like the English from my school wasn't enough. So that's how I ended up being in the academy with teacher Tiffani because I decided that I wanted to, in the future, go to the United States in fulfill my dream of become a pediatrician and work there. So I was thinking like I need to learn more English. And one day I was in YouTube and I wrote like how to learn English, and one of the videos of teacher Tiffani popped up there, and I watched it, and I really liked the idea and all the video. In that time, teacher Tiffani, it was just her voice and the images. So I decided to join the academy a few months after that, and I think it was really it was the best decision that I took because I think that my confidence has improved a lot because I had knowledge in the past, but I was so afraid to talk in English with anybody. So I think that helped me a lot. And yeah, I think this is a big picture of my journey in English, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, we are similar because I had the same experience that you had. When I just first met Tiffany on YouTube, it was just the graphics and the voice. After I met her, I told her why you didn't appear on the screen, and she said there's no reason. Because I think people are more interested in the graphics. I said no, they want to see you, and she started to appear on the camera, and then people start to like more because people can see that beautiful smile and her facial expression and everything. So we have
Yes.
like a similar English learning journey because of course I can speak English before a little bit, but my confidence was not the best. I'm a shy
Mm.
person. I think you are a little shy too, as I was. And that challenge was really, really hard for me. So after became her student, I start to gain more confidence and I start to notice that speaking English is something that you can do as we are doing other things. You just need to, do it without fear, without thinking so much more about this. So it's funny you mentioned that because it was similar to my experience. And you said that you start to learn study English when you are a kid because you are very close to the border, and Mexico and the United States has a close relationship between it's they are neighbors and everything. But tell me, this happened just on your place, or is it the thing that's common in all of Mexico? Because in the South, for example, people are not close to the United States, but I don't know if there they have the same mentality to, oh, I need to put my son, my daughter in a English school very early because they will need to speak English in the future. Is that happen
Mm.
in all Mexico or just close to the border?
Well, I've never lived in another place that is not my city. So, but the things that I know, it's at least I think in all the border of Mexico, United States, it's the same. Because it's very common for people to live here in Mexico and work in the United States. So there's a lot of bilingual people in all this border. And also the touristic cities, they are also very important, and they are diligent with their kids to they need to learn English. For example, I mean, like Cancun, Monterrey, Guadalajara, Mexico City. I think those kind of places are like really trying the people to speak English. But I know that there's a lot of also cities that are like with a less with cities that maybe there's not really important for them to learn English, because usually they only do the basic education and they need to start to work. So that's the reality also for my country.
And maybe they don't have the opportunity to, because they don't have tourists there to, to use their English, right? The
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing the same thing happened here in my region, because I'm far away from the big cities in Brazil. I'm living in the center of the country, so uh,
Oh.
I can't find anybody close to me that speaks English. It's really hard to find somebody that speaks English. But if you go to Sao Paulo, Rio, or big cities in Brazil, it's more common to see people speaking in English. So I think it's similar, but I think Mexico, it's more, because you guys are more close to the United States. I think it's more the percentage of people that speak English in Mexico maybe is higher than in Brazil, I think.
Mm, yeah, it can be. But yeah, there's we have a like really good education, but also in the south there's a lot of states that work in the field, yeah, like in agriculture.
Uh-huh.
So they don't have the opportunity to learn English. And also because I had the really privilege that my mom could give me a good education. So I know that in public schools, a lot of them, they teach like, hi, my name is Paola, nice to meet you, and that's all.
The verb to
So
be, and it's all.
yeah, so I think it was good for me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. When somebody has this opportunity to, have a better education and have access to, things that nobody else has the same opportunities, is a good thing to do for your child,
Yeah.
and everything. So, Paula, how about your challenge to speak English as a Mexican person, or how are the challenges you faced in the past that you overcome right now, that
Mm.
you look back and see, oh, this was really hard for me, but now I overcome that challenge.
Okay. Well, I think I have a very curious challenge because even though I live so close to the United States, um, I live really near of San Diego, and San Diego has
Mhm.
a place called San Isidro. So if you go there, it's like an extension of Tijuana. I mean, everybody looks Mexican, and almost everybody are bilingual. So if you go there, where it's usually the place that I go because it's the place that it's close to me. If you go there and try to speak in English, but the people see, the person sees like, oh, she it's not a native speaker. She is struggling. So I will change and start to speaking to her in Spanish because it will be easier for both of us. So if they see like you are struggling a little bit or your pronunciation is not good, they switch idioms. And you want to practice, but they start to talk to you in Spanish. So that's my problem because even though I live very near the United States, where there a lot of people speak English there, I cannot practice with anyone because all the people talk to me in English, in Spanish,
In
in
Spanish.
Spanish. So it was really frustrating for me, and because I have no confidence to say to them, no, speak to me in English, because I thought, no, I will just embarrass myself. So I think that was a struggle for me in the past. But now, maybe because I have more confidence, or maybe because I improved a lot in my English, it's more common that people remain still like speak to me in English, even though then I noticed that they also speak Spanish. So that was a thing that happened to me in the past.
Yeah, this is really
Um,
interesting because
yeah.
I think people do that thinking that they are helping, but the
Hmm.
truth is they are not helping because you want to, you want to challenge yourself to improve, and they are like doing something that's easy for you to help you, but it's not helping you to improve your English. So I totally understand that, and I see students on the academy in the academy sometimes they, for example, students from Brazil. When they know that I'm from Brazil, they send me messages to ask for help or something. They they start speaking Portuguese, not English, and this is not good because they have the opportunity to speak in English with somebody. But because I'm from Brazil, they think, okay, it's easy for me to talk to him in Portuguese because I will understand. And when you put
Yes.
yourself in like a danger situation or in like a challenge situation, you have more chances to improve because you are doing something really hard for you. I see this every single day in the same experience you had in another
Mm.
environment, but similar experience. So I think this is a common challenge for a lot of English students.
Yes, and also it can be a little bit of discouraging because you're thinking, I'm gonna practice today, and then they don't speak to you in English. So you, at least for me, I was like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough because they don't speak to me in English. So it it was a little bit discouraging for me to experience
It
that.
affects your confidence as
Yes,
well, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
How did
recently,
you?
uh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
that recently I learned that you also speak Spanish, but we never have talked in Spanish before.
Pardon me, I didn't follow you.
Oh, that recently I learned that you also speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yo
but
hablo un poquito, no, pero no mucho. Es que
all
mi
right.
español está un poco, bueno, no he practicado mucho, entonces no es bueno ahora, pero hace algunos años hablaba muy bien.
Well, that sounds really good. That sounded really good.
The truth is, I love Spanish. I really fall in love with this language because it was my second language that I have learned. And after learning Spanish, I noticed that I can do everything I want because I was able to speak another language. So there's no barriers anymore. So I start to gain more confidence because I was able to talk in Spanish with everybody, and this helped me to
Yeah.
improve my English too. It was like the spark I got in the past to learn languages.
Also, I think it's very curious because in Brazil you speak Portuguese, but all other Latin countries speak Spanish. So
We are
it's like,
alone. We are alone in South America.
yeah.
It's funny because speaking about Spanish a little bit, it's funny because Brazilians are able to understand Spanish, but not to talk. For us to
Oh,
talk is
right.
not easy as it's easy to understand. And I think for you
Yeah.
guys is a little bit different. You guys don't understand so easily Portuguese because it's more far away from.
Mm.
But when you guys start to learn, you learn very well Portuguese too. I have a lot of friends that do that, and they do a great job.
Yeah, because I think they're a little bit similar. Like they come from Latin.
Yeah, I think
So
80% of the languages are similar. And
yeah.
I usually to say that Spanish, Portuguese are like twin brothers that are separated when they born, you know.
Yeah.
And I think learning a language is not just about the language, just the language alone. It's more about confidence, and you do something that's not that is out of your comfort zone. Because when you are able to learn one, you can learn this other one and more and more and more. I think it's
Mm.
not when you learn the first one is more easy to do it again with other language. Do you speak
Yeah.
another language instead English and Spanish?
No, really. I took 3 semesters of French in university, but because I didn't continue on and also I didn't practice anymore. So I think if I study again, maybe I can um reach my previous level. But right now I can like say my name, how much my age, and that's all.
It's better than me because I can't say anything in French.
Yeah. Yeah, but if I go to France, no, I won't survive.
Yeah, they say that French and Portuguese and Spanish are the same root. They have the same root,
Oh
Latin.
yeah.
But when I heard somebody speaking French, I don't see any similarity.
No, they're really different. Yeah, I think
Yes.
Portuguese and Spanish are more similar than French.
Yeah, yeah. I think this was one of the reasons I decided to start to study Spanish before because it was more easy to do it, and I didn't want to get frustrated, you know, like
Yeah.
start to speak to study English and don't improve and see, oh, I'll give up because I am not improving. So Spanish gave me motivation to speak English later.
Yeah. I think you speak Spanish very well,
Oh,
for
thank
what
you.
I
Thank you so
could
much.
hear.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I need to training more. I need to practice more because you know if you don't practice, you get like stuck. But right now I don't use Spanish for you know on my day on a daily basis. So this is the reason I stopped
Mm,
to study. But I really
yeah.
love this language, and I hope I can come back to studies really soon.
All right.
Paula, tell me something. You said that you graduated recently, and you said that you right now you are working. I can't remember what do you do in on your work.
All right. So I graduated from medical school. So I'm a
Hmm.
physician. So there's a lot of companies that they pay for like an external medical service. So usually I have like a few places that I go and I give medical attention to the workers in that place.
Oh, got it,
So
got it.
it's like a service for the workers that they don't always need to go to the doctor outside of their working hours. And also because if there's an accident or if there's anything that I can do related to the medical field, um, that's what I'm there for.
And are you able to use English in at work right now?
Right now, I haven't needed. I because um, you are like the places that I go are more like production companies. So the education level it's like basic for them. So not a lot of people speaks English. I just recently went to a company that I haven't the opportunity yet, but the other nurse that worked there told me that they're from China. So a lot of people that are from China don't speak Spanish. So usually the previous doctor that was before me speak to them in English. So maybe I will have the opportunity soon to use it. But the reality is that no, I don't need it.
And how important is for a person in Mexico speak English for you know in the job environment? I'm talking about if you are if you speak English, if you have this ability, how the companies and everyone see those people that speak English in Mexico. I'm talking about this because in Brazil it's really important, especially in big cities. When you speak English, the doors are open for you. The salaries are better, and you can get better jobs than those that don't know English. So how is this in Mexico?
I think I think at least here in my city, I think it's really important that you can speak English fluently because a lot of companies that need like engineers or like human resources or like system engineers and production engineers or things like that, they usually need English because a lot of companies that are here in my city from are like international companies that come here to establish their place. So they need to communicate with other workers in other places that the same company, but they have like different working places. So they need to communicate with them, and usually they use English because, I mean, if you have like someone in Europe and in Brazil and in Mexico, well, they use English. Like it's more common that they know that. So also, I think I see a lot of companies here that are call centers. So obviously to work there, it's you need to speak English. So we have a lot of people here that are deported. So they went without documents to the United States. And after a few years, the government of the US take them back to Mexico, and usually Tijuana is one of the cities that most of the deported people are. So we have a lot of people that knows English because they were in the United States for many years working and they learn. But when they are here, like a lot of them don't have studies, so they cannot aspire to be like an engineer or being in a really big company. So usually they work in call centers or
Oh.
or in product company like produce a lot of things. But yeah, that's really common. And also, I said before that a lot of people live here and work in the United States. So I think also in a lot of restaurants and things like that, it's really common that people need to speak English.
Yeah, I asked this because recently I saw like an statistic in Brazil
Yeah.
that said that in Brazil, people that speak English receive a salary 60% more than other people in Brazil. I don't know if this is is right or is true, but it's a
Mm.
good signal that when you speak English, you have more chances than other people that don't. So English, even we are so far away from the US, from the UK, and speaking English countries,
Yes.
uh, English is so important to us. I think this happened in the biggest part of the world. So I English is the language of business, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know if the payment it's like more, for example, if it is the same job and the pay is higher with someone that speak English or that someone who doesn't. I don't know if that is, but I know that it's probably that the people that don't knows English will get the job instead of the one who doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, especially
Uh,
in those like high rank jobs that you need to talk to different people around the world. Yeah.
yeah, I think this statistic is more like if you have English and you don't have English, that people that speak English get the better jobs than those that don't know. So in average, those that speak English have more the chance to get more money than those that don't. So I think it's more in this aspect. And I don't know if this happened in other countries, but in Brazil, I don't know if the number is right, but for sure, if you speak English, you have so much more opportunities to make more money, to get higher salaries and positions in the companies too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is that almost every like it the more high is the rank of your position, the more necessary that you speak English.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And
Yeah.
Paula, I'm curious about something. Tell me how is your routine to study English? I'm asking this because I know you are very busy. You work so much, and I think maybe you don't have so much time to learn to study. So how is your whole routine studying English?
All right. So my routine has been changed a lot since I started. At the beginning, I usually have like a schedule, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna study this time and this time. But right now, like you said, I work my work schedule is like really strange because I go to different places to work. I usually work in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night. So it's really like messed up everything. So usually I study where when I can. Like, and also because I'm studying for revalidating my studies in the US. So that study is in English. So sometimes I use that like, oh, this is my English study for today because I read and answer questions in English. And but for example, the things that I do in the academy usually is just like one day that I have time. I take my computer and I do the work for that day. But I don't really have like a schedule like, oh, I study Monday and Fridays from 1 to 2. No.
Yeah, I'm like you. At the beginning, I was more, I don't, I'm not saying focus, but I had more time to study, so I could prepare myself more. I could organize everything and have a study routine very organized. But when you are very busy, like right now, I try to use more English than study, you know. And this podcast is about this. Right here, I'm learning English. I am because I'm practicing and I am training my listening skills as well. So of course, I study with the classes on in Tiffani's academy. Uh, but right now I'm more using the language than trying to learn it, because when you have the when you need to use the language and you don't have so much time to study a lot, so you need to use your time in a good way. So the time I have to work, for example, I'm trying to work in something and use it in English. So I put my cell phone in English. I try to, if I'm creating like a plan for my week, I put it in English because I want to have contact with the language as much I can. So more than study right now, I'm using it, and I think this is important too, but requires a lot of work before, a lot of studies before, when you are able to use more the language than study. So this happened to me, I think, more because the time when you have like kid, when you have a wife, when you have a lot of responsibilities, is not easy at all. And I see this with a lot of students that live in America, because they need to work. They need to work sometimes in 2 or 3 jobs, and they don't have time to study, and they start to thinking about giving up. So this and this could be very very bad, because if you don't study, you won't improve. And it's a pity, because sometimes they are in America, they have the chance to use the language more, but sometimes they don't do it, most because of they don't have time, because it's the life in America for an immigrant is very very tough. So
Yeah.
I've spoke with a lot of people from there, and they are like, I don't have time to study. And I say, okay, try to use the language more, as more you can. And how I can do that? I don't know. Do something. Talk to somebody.
Just open your mouth.
Yeah, yeah. Because sometimes people think that they need to go to the class and stay there for a long time, but they are,
Yeah.
for example, they are in America. They have the chance to talk to other people in English, and they have chances to improve. So
Yes. Or maybe they think that they need to learn all the vocabulary before
Yeah.
they before they can talk. But no, the reality is that you are learning vocabulary in the process. Because I can study like the vocabulary of the day, but if I don't use it in 2 weeks, I won't remember the meaning of that word.
Two
And
weeks.
also,
Your memory is good. I think for
no,
me,
it was an
the next
example.
day, I don't remember anything more
Exactly. Yeah.
if I don't use it.
Yes. And also, I wanted to say that I use a lot of time that I'm driving to trying to learn English. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. I use
Ah.
Spotify to do that. And I am really grateful that teacher Tiffani recently started to put the Sunday lessons on YouTube podcast format on Spotify because I can listen to
It was a
while
good
I'm
idea.
driving. Yeah, it was really good. And also I try to listen to other podcasts in English of random things. So I realized that my listening skills have improved a lot because I can understand and enjoy what I'm listening to. Because in the past, it was like, no, it was really difficult for me. I needed the subtitles. But right now, I sometimes with a maybe one program or one word I don't understand because maybe I don't know the word, but I think the majority of the podcasts I can understand and enjoy them. Enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting because sometimes you are not able to understand everything, but
Mm,
you don't need to worry about to know everything that they are talking, because if you
yeah.
focus more in the context, you will understand anyway what they are talking. When
Yeah.
I noticed that, I stopped to be worried about to try to understand everything, because in the past I was like, oh, I didn't understand this word, this word, this word. I didn't understand anything. But I noticed that
Yeah.
I don't need to understand every single word, because even in Portuguese, sometimes I'm not able to understand every single word. But I get like the main point, and I can use and I can talk. And this is happened to me, especially when I am speaking with native English speakers, because they speak very fast.
Yeah.
They they don't they don't wait to talk. They are just talk and talk. And
Yeah.
I was free of the. Oh, I don't need to understand everything. Let's
Mm.
try to understand the main point. And this was very helpful for me, because I started to notice that,
Yes.
okay, I don't understand everything, but I can understand at least 80%, 90%. And this help us to look for those words that you don't know, and then you can learn it. So
Yeah.
it's part of the process. Those podcasts that you said, they are about something that you like, right? Like
Like which
the
one?
the podcast that you
That I
listen
listen to. Yeah.
is about topics that you really like, right? That you enjoyed.
Yeah.
I think this is the other thing that is important. If you want to improve your listening skills, you need to look for something that you like that you enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
that are not hard for you. Waste not waste, but invest 1 hour of your time or more, because you really like that. For example, for me, is like these podcasts and videos about business. I love business. I want to improve my business skills, and I don't listen like I listen like I want to do this, because it's something that I really love. So sometimes it's better when you have a thing that you enjoy, and then you can
Yes.
listen something from that topic.
Yeah. Yeah. The podcasts that I listen to are podcasts like that are topics that I really want to learn more from that. That maybe that podcast was in Spanish. I I still will listen to.
Yeah.
So I just looking for topics that I really like, but in English. And usually I really enjoy them. And because it's a podcast, I think they are conscious that they need to speak like calm. So usually it's very easy to understand that those kind of podcasts.
And as much you listen, more you get the ability to understand what
Yeah,
they are
the more
saying.
you
And
listen, the more you understand. And also, I want to say that in the past, when I, for example, not podcast, but I saw like a series on Netflix, for example, and I put the subtitles, and I saw a word that I didn't understand, so I pause and annotate the word. But then I realized that I had like 2 pages of words that I didn't have the time to look for. So I stopped doing that and just like you said, enjoy and understand like the whole concept. And those kind of words, you can deduct the meaning with all the sentence. So it's not, um, I think it's a really wasting your time, like pausing and annotating and pausing, because maybe one word, but 25 words, I mean, no.
ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Sometimes it's like you are just wasting your time to trying to get everything that you don't know because you
Yeah.
won't use it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Paula, you said that you had biggest challenge in the past and you continue to improve. And right now your English is really good. When I talk
Thank
to
you.
you, I noticed that, okay, her English is amazing. I can't see anything wrong. It's like very good. But I know even now you have challenges, different challenges, of course. But I know you have, what is your biggest challenge right now in the English learning process?
All right. So the first thing that comes to my mind is, for example, with the academy that I have the program to learn. I'm currently also enrolled in Speak English Like a Native. So I really like that program too. But I think because it's like a more auto, like you need to learn from yourself. Yeah. So because I don't have anyone that I need to report my um my work every day or every week. So it's really easy for me to let everything to the end of the month and then feel like overwhelmed that I have like a lot of work to do and there's another month coming from to work on my English. So I think that it's to be disciplined by myself because
Ah,
when you don't have like you don't go to a school that you have a teacher and give you assignment and then the next class you need to like give your homework. But if you study by yourself with internet or with a program in your computer, you need to be really diligent with your time and with your work because if not you can be enrolled in a program and don't do anything. I think that it's a really challenge for me. And also um when I try to speak to Native Americans, if they speak really fast and I try to speak to them and I don't know because maybe you have the idea in your head but you miss a word that you need to continue your sentence and sometimes I can feel like frustrated and I'm like I know I can't and you just give up and that can be like oh maybe I'm not good enough or maybe I don't know anything of English, so that's really also a challenge for me.
I know exactly what you mean, Paula, because this happened to me also. When you have the chance to talk to a native, but you don't understand everything, or sometimes you miss a word or an expression. But here's the thing that I do in this type of situation. When I forgot the word, I just say, how can I say this in English? I forgot. So I just tell the truth. I don't
Yeah.
try to I don't try to remember the word because maybe the word doesn't come. So and
Mm.
the truth is when you do that, the other person say, "Oh, you're saying this word. Yeah, that's it. That's it." So because it's like when you're talking in Spanish, for example, you're talking to a friend and
Mm,
you're trying to remember something and you, oh, I can remember this. What it is? And they say, "Oh, it's this." Yeah, and the conversation just
yeah,
flow. When I notice that, oh, I don't need to stop myself because I can't remember a word, and the other person will help me. We think that, okay, I need to be perfect talking to a native, but you don't need to be perfect because the other person love to help you to to flow the conversation. So because they look at you with proud when they say other person talking to in their language. So when I noticed that, for me it was a game changer, because I noticed that, yeah, I don't need to remember everything, but my conversation needs to be like natural. If I don't
yeah,
remember, oh, I can't remember this word, what it is. Oh, it's that word. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I repeat the word, and the conversation flows. So this
yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
may help.
Yeah, yeah, I will use it in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, for me right now, speaking about challenges, I have two challenges in mind. The first of all is remember things that I've learned, because Tito Tiffin said to me that I don't need to say that my memory is not good, but my memory is not good for real. I forgot
Yeah.
very easily, and I'm trying to find good ways to remember the things I have learned, but it's not easy at all, because sometimes we don't have time to review the lessons and everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
and as you mentioned before, if you don't look at the words again, you will forget very fast. And the
Yes.
other one is about pronunciation. Sometimes uh, I got in trouble with some words in English because some of them are really hard to say. For example, the word world for me is really hard to say. Every time when I say this word, I look at, oh my goodness, it's not right, but I try to use it
Yeah.
again and again until I can pronounce it properly. So right now I have this
Mm.
biggest challenge, that is especially my pronunciation, because right now I am exposing myself to the world in English, and I want to improve this aspect of my English. But yeah, sometimes not it's not easy, but I think
Mm-hmm.
I will achieve it.
Yes. Yes, I also think that the pronunciation is a thing that I thought a lot about in the past. But right now, I just want to be fluent. Like I want to be able to speak, and I think the pronunciation will be like improving by its own. Like the more you listen to and the more you talk to people, you will improve your pronunciation, I think.
Uh, yeah, that's it. I agree. You talk about fluency. Let me ask you this question. What is fluence for you in your
Fluence.
concept?
All right. For me, fluence is being able to keep a conversation with someone um, in the way that you can express your ideas quickly and exactly what you want to say, or at least the main idea. You can communicate with the other person, and the other person can understand you. And I think that is.
The same here. For me, it's the same. I think is when you are able to communicate your ideas in English, for example, with no effort, with no you don't need to know everything,
Mhm.
every word, every expression. But if you are able to communicate with somebody in English, a native English speaker or not, but you have, you can you can speak like in a clear way with no hesitation. And I think this is fluency for me, is to be able to communicate in another language.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you are perfect or not, you just need to communicate.
Yeah. Yeah, for example,
Sounds
in
good.
this conversation, I mean, I think I could like give my ideas, but there's a lot of words that I said. I want to say some word, but I don't know in English that word, so I need to um may to say it in with other words. Yeah.
Yeah, and this happens so much when you are able to switch the words and say in another way. I do that a lot because, especially when I forgot an expression or what I was saying, I try
Yeah.
to say in another way, and the conversation just go on.
Yeah.
And Paula, another question: what is your dream related to to English, and how can you see yourself in a few years in that area?
All right. So I mentioned previously that I really wish to become a pediatrician. That's my main goal. I mean, in the field that I work in medicine, that's not the thing that I want to be forever. So it's like temporary, but
Mhm.
I want to work with kids. So for many different reasons, I want to work with kids, but in the United States. So I imagine myself working in a hospital in the United States. So I really need to keep improving my English because in the future I'm hoping to work um, with patients that speaks English. So I know that a lot of people in the United States also speak Spanish, but I will need the English for sure. So my goal is to be able to work and speak, write, and read English uh, fluently without any problems and without needing to look for the translator or my dictionary or asking to someone to help me. So I mean, I will learn throughout my life, for sure, but I want to be able to feel confident with my level in a way that I can work with speaking in English.
Yeah, this is a beautiful dream, and I'm not. I'm sure that you will achieve it because you are very smart. You're very diligent, and everything that I see you do is like you do very well because you put your heart on it. So I'm sure that you will achieve it, and I hope doesn't take so long because I want to see you in the United States doing everything
Yeah.
you just said right now, and. Good luck. Good luck. I think you achieve it for sure.
Yes. 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 I hope
And my
to.
friend, yeah, you will. My friend, before we leave, I just want to ask you the last question. Uh, and this question is it's for help those students that are like you are in the past, like struggling
Mhm.
with English and they want to improve and they are stuck. If you could give one tip, one advice to those students, what you would say to them?
All right. So I will say that you need to um, be patient because English it's your second or maybe third or fourth language. I don't know, but it's different from your mother tongue. So um, we don't learn how to speak our mother tongue in 1 month or 2 months. So we need time. And we are adults, so we learn slower than before. So sometimes we can feel in a rush to learn, but the reality is that not always is that the case. So we need to be patient and trust the process. And also, I listened to your conversation with teacher Tiffani that we need to um, so just take one resource and study that because if you look for 1,000 resources, you will feel overwhelmed and you will do nothing. So yeah, be patient, Like stick with a program or a course and do it, but really do it, and look for someone to practice with. I think it's really important because if you don't practice what you are learning, you can forget it very soon, really soon. So that's my main advice. And that
Thank
you will
you.
see your improvement. Yeah. One thing that also it's important, if you can record yourself talking and maybe then in a week and also in a month, you will see your improvement and you will feel really proud of yourself. So, for example, in the academy, we have like these weekly or monthly challenges that we need to record ourselves. So those are really good because if I see my previous recordings, I'm like, oh my God, but you will see your improvement. So just be patient and trust the process. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing advices. Thank you so much. One of them, it caught my attention because I think the listeners are tired to hear I say the same thing about videos, about record yourself in videos, or about record your voice, because I
Yeah.
really believe that is a good thing to improve, especially the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I start to do it with Spanish because I want to improve, and it was a game changer after I start to record myself, and then I start to have a unbelievable confidence to speak other languages. So all the time I tell people, record yourself, try to record yourself even for a minute, and
Yeah.
you don't need to send to anybody, but record for you, and then you see where you are able to improve, where you need to improve, where you need to do something different. And the other thing you said about be patient, this is one of the biggest challenge for students that are in the beginning of the journey, because they want to speak English now. They want to be fluent now, not in 1 year, 2 year or years or more. But as you mentioned, when you're a kid, you don't start to speak Spanish, English, or Portuguese, whatever. You don't start to do it in a month or 2 months. You have a
Mm-hmm.
long process until you achieve the fluency. So
Yeah.
I really love your advices, and I passed for the same journey, and this helped me to improve as well.
Yes. And also, I remember right now that I was listening to you, that sometimes you recording yourself is not only for seeing your improvement, but also to improve. I mean, if you read something in English, usually we read it like really fast. But if you try to say it out loud, you will do it like slowly because you need to accustom your mouth to the different pronunciation of words of your mother tongue. I mean, I use different type of sounds that I don't use in English. So, uh, trying to recording yourself, you practicing how to speak, and also you can practice and listen to yourself. How do you pronounce certain words, and in which areas uh, you can improve, and you need to work more. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you so much for the advices. And guys, by the way, Paula and I, we are in the same programs. We are students from Speaking English with Tiffani Academy. So if you want to join us and have a great English learning journey and help with one of the best English teachers in the world, the link is down below in the description. We are proof that her method really works, and students can really speak English when they have in touch with this amazing platform. And she has 2 courses, so I'll put both on the description. And if you want to improve your English for real and start to speak English with a lot of confidence and no more fear, just click down below and enroll now. Other thing
Yeah.
is, if you didn't subscribe to the channel yet, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up. It will help us to improve this channel and show for more students that yes, you can speak English as well. You can break the ice. just improve your English and start to talk with unbelievable confidence. And Paula, I want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being with us today and give us a little bit about your English learning journey and for encourage our audience to improve too. So if you want say your last words, please be free.
Okay. So I'm really grateful that you invited me. This also obviously helps me too to practice and to overcome my shyness and to gain confidence in speaking English. So thank you for the opportunity, and I hope that someone listening to this feel motivated to keep learning and see and know that for sure you will improve if you work hard. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank
And I
you.
really enjoyed this time.
Me too. Me too. It was really good. Times fly. We are talking to over in an hour right now, so it's unbelievable how much fast time
Yeah.
flies when you are doing something that you like. So thanks again, and I hope, guys, if what we talk today help just one person, I will be very happy because this is the purpose of this podcast. Help you guys to know that you can do it. You can speak English as well. So Paula, thanks again. I hope we can talk soon, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye
Bye,
guys.
everyone. Bye.